If you would give a little more background about how HRT, really hormone replacement therapy, got a bad name or bad
Yeah.
rap, right? And then what does science say today and what are the recommendations for today?
hmm Yeah, absolutely. So I think, looking into the history of this, women really didn't get many treatments. Medical studies in women just really haven't been done. And even birth control wasn't really available until, the 60s, 70s for most women. And so back in like the 80s and 90s, there was a movement where many women were getting HRT and were getting hormone replacement therapy and doing very well. But they realized there weren't many guidelines and there wasn't much information about its safety. And so there was a big study that was done called the Women's Health Initiative study. And that it finished in 2002. And basically, before it could really be peer reviewed and before it could really be scrutinized by the medical community, they ran with these results and things started be releasing, in the news and press. And all these headlines started coming out about, the dangers of HRT. And they were taking some, and there, it was a, some people say it was a bad study. It was actually a really good study. That was the first time they did a really large scale study looking at this in women. And now we've learned a lot of really good things from that study. But what happened was they took these headlines and like little snippets of information from the results of the study and went rampant with it in the news. And so suddenly there was this mass fear produced as a result of this study where everyone said, oh God, this is really dangerous. I'm going to pull all my patients off of it. So literally nationwide, doctors were stopping HRT, women were throwing away their HRT, and they weren't really looking at the big picture. So that really swung the pendulum. And then suddenly in the early 2000s and thereafter, no one was getting HRT. It really wasn't made available because of the fear. And it was really the fear of, is HRT going to cause cancer? Is it going to cause somebody to have a blood clot? And what we learned about that study overall is that there is a magic window of time where it's the safest to start HRT. And the women that were at higher risk were the ones that were started at a much later age than really would be safe to start somebody, after age 60.